And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Always a busy day, of course. Monday, April 8th, the brand new week of shows. And, of course, coming up next week on KKTC True Country 99.9, April 15th from 6:30 to 7 o'clock, our new time slot as we go to prime time, 5 days a week there, too, in New Mexico and up into Colorado. Also, thanks to our friends over at hightidecountry.net. And, of course, out there, always powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com, too, as well. Some exciting things coming up over the next few weeks and more great artists coming on this week and next week too. Well, I tell you guys, I love to switch it up a little bit because we do have a lot of country artists that come by. And of course, I know the CMT Awards were last night. Congratulations to all the winners in Austin, Texas last night. But pleased to welcome on a group I got a chance to hear, and I said, you need to hear them because I got to hear them too. The new single is called Goon across all these digital streaming platforms. Dear Rouge comes on the program. How are you guys doing?
Hey,
Good. How are you?
We're doing great.
Thanks for having us.
You got it. Good to have you. Well, I tell you what, I want to know the backstories. I'm sure a lot of people do when you start anywhere with a new group here on a podcast or radio show, what have you, how you guys met and how you kind of formed this thing called Dear Rouge, because it looks like you guys had a lot of individual experience in music and putting kind of two, they say two heads are better than one. They're not kidding when it comes down to it. You guys got to actually come together and form a great sounding duo.
Yeah, thank you. That's really sweet. We had like such a big musical journey each in our own right before, we grew up playing in churches, playing in bands and, doing anything we could because we loved music. And when we met, we both wanted to do something different. And that's where it was really special because we had this trajectory of like, we've done all this and now we want to go here and we want to try really hard. And it worked out really well. And
yeah, Drew was in a like shoegazy band and I was in kind of a singer-songwriter act, like a solo thing. And then we kind of collectively said like we should do something more exciting and fun that brings out more of our like wild personality. So and it was always in us to do. We just kind of needed each other to bring it to the surface.
Yeah, talk about that too, because this latest single I want to dive into. I'm not going to wait any further when it comes down to it, but I love this new single out there called Goon, which is across all the streaming platforms. Tell us how this came to be about. And this is just kind of one of those fun songs, good to have fun with it. A lot of people can really resonate with a song like this.
Yeah. Well, the song kind of originated when I went on a writer's sort of retreat thing on my own. Actually, before that even, I went on a European trip with my friend and we went to Paris. We were ripping around Paris and we ended up at like 2 a.m. at this bar. And these two dudes just would not leave us alone. And we actually had to like kind of stand our ground a bit. And I turned around and I was like, go away. I literally said, we are married women. We are not interested. And I literally was like, ding, the light of creativity kind of like cued me like, oh, remember this kind of moment. Because how many times you have like a person or a situation or a thought or like a habit that just like will not leave you alone. And you literally have to turn around and be like, go on, get out of here. And so that kind of sparked the idea. Then I went on a writer's retreat kind of thing on my own, like found that idea and kind of worked on that a bit, brought it to Drew, and then the rest is history. And the song just kind of came together very organically.
Yeah, it does. And that's the beauty of music out there, too, is to see, like you said, getting those ideas. And sometimes it comes from the personal experience side of things. And then sometimes it's more, waking up probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, having a hook and putting it into your phone or something like that, too, to get that. What do you guys enjoy most about? Because I know that it's just not just songwriting, but there's a process to getting to the song that you want to get, kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Yeah, it's like there's different paths that you take. And the original inspiration bit is, maybe Danny would agree with, is just the funnest because it's so hopeful of what the song could be. You dream about it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. The hard part is making the song that. And so, there's this like big wave of inspiration that's just incredible and very hopeful and exciting. And then the rest of the part is a really fun process. Like we love it. But it's more hard work that we love, bringing the song to what we feel the song should be.
And so it's like every song has a different kind of process. It's like similar route, but different process because some of our songs that we love took way more work and some of them was like a day and we were done. So it's like, it just depends on what the song wants from you and you just kind of follow where the inspiration is leading.
Let's go back to one that was a big hit for you guys too. I Heard I Had was radio hit back in 2014, and I believe that led to a record deal too. How big? Just well, we kind of say that when you have a hit and it's all over Canadian radio too, in different genres and things like that. But it definitely has to build the confidence when you see the body of work just continue to grow every year. You guys are together and to kind of impact radio and things out there too. And of course, you guys are no stranger to the record deals out there too, and of course, taking home a Juno for Breakthrough Group of the Year, which I know was the one on Black to Gold, which I got a chance to listen to as of yesterday and today, which is fantastic work. Talk about just going through the evolution of these steps of having the big radio hit to the record deals to breakout albums, how tough that is to do in the music business.
Yeah, it's a wild ride, and now more so ever, it seems like every day there's a new obstacle for artists and what you have to do to be able to be an artist. And when it originally hits, though, just like with anything, when there's momentum, it lights a fire inside of you and just gives you this work ethic and desire to try and see what it could be. And when you mention all those early stuff, it was like, I remember a lot of work, but I do remember us just feeling convicted by making this is our ticket. This is our way into the music industry. And now more than ever, it's hard to get that ticket into the music industry. And so since those moments, we've been able to do this as a full-time job. And we're extremely grateful.
I love it. It's very, very satisfying watching, like you say, your body of work grow and evolve, and how we've grown through it all, and just being grateful for the opportunity to continue to create music and to have people care about it. Like, what an honor and privilege. And like Drew says, it's just harder and harder these days, but we just keep trying to make things that we like. And at the end of the day, like, that's what you have. And even like when I think about us starting, we were rough. Like when we first started, we had to start somewhere, and just kind of seeing our growth and all of that. It's very satisfying and exciting, and we just continue to do what we feel we're supposed to do. And I think that's the powerful thing, is just being true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get a chance to check out the Deluxe out there too, which is those digital platforms. An album called Phases, and I thought it had some really, really cool tunes on there too. Live Through the Night, one of my favorite ones to listen to there. Stolen
Nice.
Days, and another one too, which was Boys and Blondes, which I know was a single you guys had, very, very popular out there for you. Talk about just that album, kind of recap some of the highlights from the deluxe edition of Phases.
Yeah, that was a real special one for us, because the first album, when we made it, we weren't sure who would hear it. And then, everyone heard it because of I Heard I Had and Black to Gold. So Phases, we put so much energy into that record. And I think now it proves itself that we just really, really cared about what we were doing on that record. And we were actually living in New York at the time. It was really cool because we were influenced. We changed everything. We now had a job in the music industry. And I think it was our record where we wanted to be taken serious. And we had a lot of fun making that one. A lot of work.
Yeah, Phases, I love Wicked Thing on that album. I just love that song. I still just want to listen to that song. I just thought we took a risk with some of the decisions we were making. And on a second album, you're always a little worried. You have a bit more of like, oh, wait, do we need to make a certain thing? And when you first start, you just kind of make what you want. So I loved that moment of just Wicked Thing being the starting point of almost like helping us a little bit, even in our psyche, of being like, just let go. That song's basically about letting go of like all the mirages and just getting to the nitty gritty of who you are. And so it was a great way to start that album.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we can kind of go through the chronological order of different songs out there too. I got a chance to check out one called Spirit, which I thought was fantastic too. Just love this artwork. Can't wait to ask you about this too when it comes down to it. But some really cool things. So Face Down and Small Talk was on there too, and also Give Me Spirit. A lot of cool things to talk about here with Dear Rouge here on the Backstage Pass, of course, here powered by the sportsguys podcast.com, and of course out there too as well. We'll take a break for our sponsors out there too as well. Can't forget about those guys. that make it possible out here for us to bring you this program here too. If you want to buy anybody some jewelry out there, to your spouse, friend, or family member, Jewelry by Tommy's got you covered. Email our friend Tom Burley at burleysystem@yahoo.com today. Place to order. It's handcrafted, handmade, and it's Jewelry by Tommy. More to come here with our friends Dear Rouge out there too. It is the Backstage Pass, KKTC True Country 99.9, and of course out there hightidecountry.net. More to come. Stay tuned.
The Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show, KKTC True Country 99.9. Of course, new time slot April 15th, 6:30 to 7 o'clock in the primetime hours there too. And of course, you'll hear us 7 days a week, weekends, time still to be determined. Always hightidecountry.net. And for podcasts out there, the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And of course, the YouTube channel, the Backstage Pass SG for sports guys out there. Back here with our group, Dear Rouge, our featured artist of the day today for April 8th, 2024. So let's talk a lot about this album. We talked about doing a lot of things on phases, but I want to go into this next one, which was 2022 for this one. First, I got to ask you about this photo because I thought like really that aura that you kind of gave off, and you took this photo out of water, this album called Spirit, which I really loved a lot out there too. And this, whoever did the photography for this was fantastic. And then you guys come up with Face Down and of course Small Talk and so many good songs off of there. Give Me Spirit. Let's review this body of work too.
Oh, well, thanks, Brandon. So it was really interesting. This was a very much of a COVID baby for us. We were sitting on the dock, and at the time, I mean, the world was shutting down, and they were just, our area was going through a lot of forest fire kind of situations as well. So I was just like, and also emotionally, we were going through a lot personally, just with health stuff. It was just a crazy, crazy time. And I was sitting on the dock, saw this haze coming over the water. All the boats had just been taken out of the lake, which it's usually like bustling and busy. And it just was like, it just was eerie. And I'm like, let's do a photo shoot. And I just, inspo, this is what it is. You just got to be ready for it when it hits you. And I went up, got changed, got my like some makeup, and just went into the water. And actually my cousin, who's like just, she's not a photographer, she's just a random
with an iPhone
friend cousin. Wow. She just went into the water on a paddleboard. I was gonna say boogie board for some reason. Anyways, paddleboard, and we went out into the water and just did this impromptu photo shoot. Long story short, we tried to retake these photos in a different way with like a pro photographer. We did many different things to try to recreate and get a better version. But actually, we just kept coming back to this photo this one day, like could not recreate it. And this is where I really think photos are an interesting thing, because it's a snapshot in time, literally. You can't recreate some emotions, some views, some whatever happened in that specific time frame, and how I was feeling and all of that. And it came through in the photo, and we ended up putting it on the cover. We had no idea that that's what was happening in the moment. And I just think that's very special that happened to us.
Yeah, I love the background, the different versatility you guys have, what you can do with your vocals, no doubt, too. And what you both can do is just two great musicians out there, too. But tell me a little bit about musical influences and who shaped each of you growing up.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. I grew up with musical parents, and my dad was really into like Chicago style bands, like he had horns and guitars, rock, and it was like always kind of like the more happier side of rock. And I think that like really affected me, because I tend to like, if we're writing a darker song, I always kind of want to make it a little bit happier, more playful. I think it comes from listening to Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and all those bands growing up.
Yeah, for me, my mom actually, and I can't believe I haven't really recalled this. Sorry, we have a little baby.
You're good.
So
it's all good.
We couldn't get a babysitter, so
the background noise is all good. Hey, you guys are here. That's all that matters. Right? No doubt.
A rock and roll band with a little baby rocker on the floor.
There you go. Rocking there too.
Rocking on the floor. So we, yeah, when I grew up, I've never said this answer until now. And it just popped into my head. I have no idea why I haven't thought about this, but Karen Carpenter and the Carpenters were huge for my mom. And she really, really loved, my mom was a singer, and she grew up singing, and I heard her all the time in church and places. And she wanted to be a professional singer. But like, it's kind of a sad story. It never really happened for her. But I was always just very motivated by her being on stage and seeing her doing it. But the Carpenters were massive. And I think about that now with how I sing and how I wanted to like use emotional words and feelings. And that's what the Carpenters were.
And all the divas too.
And my mom loved, divas. Like she was into Whitney Houston and Celine Dion. And those, I can see that within me as well. It's like I always want to hit big notes and somehow use my vocal abilities to like try things, you know.
That's all you got to do. That's what I say. It's like trial and error, even for a show like this too. I've had for 5 years going on.
Yeah.
Things out there and keep it going. I've been a radio veteran for 30 years. I mean, even in sports and broadcasting and music too. You just got to throw it out there and just don't throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Just go up there, go peel it off, and see if you can just throw more stuff out there, because that's a big thing. Is just keeping your name and your limelight out there too. And like you said, just pushing yourself beyond mediocrity. And I know that's one of the questions I wanted to get to too, is how hard is that to kind of, get to a certain point? And you guys have had a lot of success there too. We talked about that, radio and things like that and record deals. But to maintain success going forward in an ever-changing business and in the challenges that you guys face that maybe some fans don't see in this industry.
I think for me, I just was saying to Drew yesterday, I'm like, you know what? A lot of it is just, I never did anything else. Like what you just said about your journey.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, I've always just done this. And I feel like it's kind of weird to think about that. I had plan B's and C's and all of that, but not actually. Like if I really was taking that serious, maybe I would have done some other things, but I was always just like, this is my path. I'm doing this. And I've always, since I was 13, writing songs and trying to perform them for people. Like,
and there's two distinct paths of like, are you trying to make money or are you trying to do what you love? And, realistically, many of us and our friends and everyone who grew up, you went to school, it was something that you were interested in, but not necessarily something you love. It was kind of, you want to get ahead and make money. So my grandpa, he used to always tell me, and he was a really wealthy entrepreneur. And so you think he would want to instill this advice of like, go get your degree and work hard, blah, blah, blah. And I did get my degree, and I do work hard, or he saw that I was a hard worker, but he said, Drew, you have the rest of your life to work. And I think that's kind of, we know that if music ends and we have to go find jobs, then we have to do that. But at least we got to do this for that long. And you kind of, Yeah, you do have the rest of your life to work. You do have, it's up to you to decide how much money you want to spend, how much money you want to earn, and we kind of feel free letting music take over rather than finances,
I've literally said to Drew, I was like, I would rather live like in a trailer by a river, in a van down by the river, than like not do a creative life. Like that's kind of how I feel now that I know what it's like. It's so much more fulfilling than like having a mansion or something, and maybe one day we will. Like there's a lot of artists who do, and that's great for them. But yeah, it's pretty cool living a creative life.
Like you said, taking that simple life too, because I also have a day job, went to college, got 2 degrees, and still the first passion was always radio, and I knew I was going to find my way back to it. And it just so happened that 30 years later I'd stayed in it in some capacity to kind of keep it moving forward. And those degrees do count, but you got the rest of, like as Drew said, you got the rest of your life to work, and really you only get one shot to do what you love to do, no doubt about it too. There's 2 songs off that record, Spirit, I'm going to ask you guys about, and we'll start with Heavy Hearts. I thought that was one that a lot of people that I can spread the word really need to hear something like that too, especially we've all gone through tough things in our life and things like that too for different phases, no pun intended by the album, but at the same time, I love this song. The delivery was awesome, and I think a lot of people, I'm sure you guys had great feedback on it too from your fans.
Yeah, thanks.
I like that song. It just has an ease about it, and it's just like, this is where I'm at, not trying to hide it, and it's almost like it's kind of like a yearning. There's a yearning to that song,
and it's just honest. I picture someone walking with headphones, not devastated, not like broken, but a heavy heart. It's like your heart isn't broken. You have a heavier heart, and you're walking around, and I kind of like picture that person listening and walking around to the song.
And the other one, before I take a quick time out here, last one of the show, Meet Me at the Rio. And boy, you guys really brought this to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a venue in Vancouver called Rio Theater, and it's kind of it's an older venue, and our friend runs a show out of it, and it's just kind of like a quirky spot. And I was just thinking of specifically a venue that you could say, like, meet me here to have fun. Like, come on, don't be stuck up. Like, come out and have fun with us. It's almost like telling your friends, like, it's also like coming out of like the hard, heavy time. You're like, it's tough to get out the door and go to things again and events again. And it was very specific to the time frame we were in.
Yeah, we wrote it about tour because we weren't able to tour for the longest time.
So
I love it. It's a great song. Checking them out too. Again, all the music is available for streaming purposes out there too. All the albums, and of course the latest single, Goon, across all those digital streaming platforms. And check them out at dearrouge.com for tour dates, merchandise, all that good stuff out there too that we always talk about here on the show. Final time out here too as well. And of course, can't forget about our friend. I guess I didn't want to forget about him too, because if you're looking for that best in country Christian music, check out my good buddy Jonathan Bond out there at jonathanbond.com. Of course, click that link below right there for the latest YouTube video out there too, that positive, uplifting message. Our friend out there for country Christian music. Love our friend Jonathan Bond, all the work he does out there. Grammy nominated singer and songwriter. Also too, for jewelry out there, our friend Tommy, Jewelry by Tommy. For your spouse, friend, family member out there, he's got you covered. You can email our friend Tom Burley at burleysystem@yahoo.com today to order. Quick time out. Lady TLC's travel agency and our friends over at the CadenGordonShow.com. More to come. Last segment with Dear Rouge. Hang tight.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
The Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Danielle Drew, the group DearRouge.com. Dear Rouge joining us here on the Backstage Pass, and a little one in the background for a little bit of that background. The SportsGuysPodcast.com, and of course out there KKTC True Country 99.9, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. All right, I did some digging. So usually people say they're worried about that. Don't be worried. I want to know if this is true or not. Did I hear somewhere, this is maybe like 2016 or somewhere, there's a guy by the name of Jason Priestley that was out there too, and I believe he had something called Private Eyes. This is how we do our homework here on the show, and the research is just important to me too. I had a connection there, and I'm not going to reveal the whole story because I'd rather you guys tell it than me, but I know I'm onto something here because I do remember this pretty vividly in my mind. Jason Priestley, Private Eyes. Talk about this because you guys had a really important connection with Jason Priestley.
I mean, I guess with Jason Priestley specifically, I'm not sure. Like, I know he knows our band. And
we're Canadians.
We're fellow Canadians, but we do the cover song, the song starting the show of Private Eyes.
True,
it's actually us. So that's cool.
I got him excited down there, didn't I? I'm mentioning Jason Priestley there too, but it was the cover song, yes.
Yeah.
How did that come about as far as just getting that nod to be able to
we got the nod from the label, and they said they wanted a new take on Private Eyes for the show Private Eyes, and so we said right away, we said yes, like we got to do this cover, it's gonna be great. And then we started playing around with the song Private Eyes, and it's like pretty hard to reimagine. Like the song is what the song is. You can't really if you change too much of it, you're losing the song. And we found it actually quite challenging because, the song is the song, and you can't really make it better.
Drew, you were emailing with Daryl.
Yeah, I had a call with Daryl Hall, which is cool.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hall Notes. Yep.
They asked us to open up for them in Toronto, but we couldn't do it. We
couldn't make the date.
But it's pretty cool to get those random calls of like, can you do this intro song for this TV show?
Yeah.
And we were like, yes. But yeah, you can go watch the show. The show is really fun. It's like a private detective kind of show. It's an interesting, Canadian thing.
I love that. You also had a big hit with a song called Tongue. Tell me about this too, because this was really cool. And I believe it was the Black to Gold and Tongue were right around the same time.
Yeah, we actually, Tongues is an interesting story because our record started becoming popular, and we started getting a radio play. Then Universal Records signed us, and that time took a little bit for us as we were promoting our music, and we were writing other songs at the time. And so we told the label, we said, hey, we have this other song that we think is really great. And it was, we were really passionate about it. Also for us, it was new and fresh. And so we kind of basically told them, here's the record that you guys wanted to have, but then we want to squeeze this other song on it because it's pretty special.
No doubt, too. A lot of good body of work out there from this group, guys. You'll hear a lot about them, too. So give me, as we kind of close the show here, give me a little bit of the 2024 goals now that you guys have had a lot of great success in this industry. And, of course, everybody wants a little piece of that pie, want a little bit more dessert out there, too, if you will. Some plans, some things out there. You've got the single now. moving forward. We're second quarter now. We just started second quarter of the year. It's flying by fast. Tell me some more goals and aspirations you guys have as a duo.
Well, one big goal is to make $1 billion.
There you go.
And then it's to be bigger than Taylor Swift.
But we don't need money. We don't need money though. We can live in the van by the river.
No, I think it's really cool that we're on your show because we're a Canadian band and we're grateful to have our career in Canada. But if we have this large audience in Canada and we have all this radio support and we're kind of a household name in Canada, you want to see if people in the US care. And so anyone listening to the show, I really hope that our music can translate down there. Sometimes we hear it in random spots. We'll be in a hotel in Vegas and we hear a song in the background and it feels like we're right there. But I think that's one of our big goals is to be able to use this new album to be able to step down to the States and be able to do what we love so much in Canada down in the States.
In the States too. I love that too. Would love to see you guys come down here and impact it in many, many ways. And you were talking about Hall & Oates. I got a chance to talk to John Oates right here on this very show, a while back. And it was just one of the best things that music royalty I ever did. And just to pick his brain and the mind he has in the industry is second to none when it comes down to it. You guys done everything you can do. And then some, and he's still out there. The great ones never die. They're still out there doing their thing when it comes down to it too as well. All right, let's have a little fun with this. I know obviously with the little one now, there's probably not a lot of time to get out and have some fun, but hey, they got to sleep at some time. I'm a father too, so they sleep, wind down, time at night, you turn on some shows. What do you guys like to binge watch, maybe separately and then together?
Oh yeah,
binge watch. Oh well, we just finished watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the new version.
The new one.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really arty. We really like The Bear. Last year was a big one for us.
The Bear was amazing.
We just started Shogun.
Okay, I got to see that one. Okay.
I like when I watch TV by myself. I watch all the sports stuff. It makes me feel like I Danny. She likes watching baseball with me. We're big Blue Jays fans, but
all right.
When it comes to the hockey and when I watch some Netflix documentaries on golf, Danny's like, "What are you doing?"
Drew loves sports. I swear you should be on this show for sports as well, Drew.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Drew. And we could probably do a sports show somewhere down the line there too. Yeah, just the Jays just came to Houston too. And of course, Stroh's probably should have swept the series too, but they got one there, 2 out of 3, and I always love because one of my buddies is right there on the Alberta side. We banter back and forth on some sports between Astros and Jays, me being down here in Texas. So it's one of those things. You love your teams, and man, sometimes they do raise your blood pressure, whether you like it or not out there too at the same time.
Your heart.
They do. Yes. They break your heart too. Exactly. They really do. Let's talk about food. You guys love to, I'm sure there's a little bit of both, takeout spots there in Vancouver, and also cooking. Who does the cooking in the household?
So takeout spots, we live just outside Vancouver, but sushi is big for us here. We have a couple of sushi spots that we
have really good ethnic food like Thai, Vietnamese, and sushi. There's a lot of influence in Vancouver area, and so if we order that, it's so good compared to the rest of our country. And when we're traveling, when we're down in your side of things, we love barbecue, and I love smoking meat.
Drew is he's more of the cook in our house. And I would say my favorite thing that he cooks is smoking anything.
Oh, yeah.
Smoking meat is my favorite thing. I just love barbecue. Barbecue is next level.
We kind of got into it because in Canada we don't have really good southern barbecue, and we live out by a lake in the Vancouver area. And when we have friends up, it's you throw on pork shoulder all day. It's smoking, and then at night you're just and we travel a lot and we play shows, and so you go to in Alabama, the Alabama white sauce with pork is so good.
That's what Drew makes, and it's insanely good.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, he actually brought over some stuff last night. He actually did. I'd never heard of it, and it was pretty cool. He did a smoked a chicken, but it was a beer can chicken, and he used the brine on one of the chickens, and he got almost like a Cornish hen, and he used I forgot what beer it was to marinate it too, but it was fantastic too. It fell off the bone, and it was just moist, and it just had beer can chicken. I hadn't had it in a long time too, and honestly, I'm not a smoked meats type of person, but it gets you hungry too.
I'm just thinking, I'm oh man, we just started this health thing today, and now I'm no.
Wrong question.
I feel that way every day too when it comes down to it. Again, the single's called Goon across all these streaming platforms out there. Make sure you guys go check them out on social media too. Grab the single out there across all those platforms. Support the music and at dearrouge.com. Drew, Danielle, appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us here on the Backstage Pass. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's do it again.
Yeah,
thanks.
we'd love to. Thank you so much for having us.
You got it. The one, the only Dear Rouge out there across all those digital platforms. We're back. More episodes coming up here on the Backstage Pass, thanks to our sponsors and, of course, out there, hightidecountry.net and our friends at the Sports Guys podcast.com. And, of course, always KKTC True Country 99.9 next week, April 15th from 6:30 to 7 primetime slot out there. Catch all the shows, of course, and via the LMNOC streaming app out there in Taos, New Mexico, and up into Colorado. We'll see you soon. From all of us here at the Backstage Pass, God bless. Take care.